Hey man, say man, what's good YouTube? Trizzy Gang in the hood. Trizzy Gang, what's good, family? Listen man, we got a Chilling Scares video. Shout out to Chilling Scares for the content. You know what I mean? We got 4 Why can't I not read? It's Saturday, bro. It's Saturday. I know it's the weekend and all, but why the fuck can I not read? 4 most disturbing moments caught on live stream footage. Hey man, let's see how spooky this get, man. We react to the other Chilling Scares video with the 4 chain shit or whatever the fuck it was. That shit was weird. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of disturbing things were on there. I'm gonna keep it a beam. So we're gonna see how more disturbing this can get, man. Shout out to Chilling Scares. Roll to 10K. I love y'all. Let's see what it's talking about.
In December of 2022, the authorities in Northern Ireland came across a bizarre crime scene where the most likely suspect was somehow in 2 places at once. It all started on the 18th of December when Irish YouTuber VoteSaxon07, whose real identity is 33-year-old Stephen McCullen, live-streamed himself playing GTA Vice City. Okay. The stream started at around 6 p.m. and Stephen stayed live for about 6 hours, till midnight. The stream itself was quite unremarkable, with Stephen playing the game mostly in silence, broken by his occasional commentary. Unfortunately, while he was streaming comfortably in his home, his 32-year-old girlfriend, Natalie McNally, was going through something downright horrific. Stephen, however, was completely unaware of this and promptly went to sleep after ending the stream. The next day, he woke up to a barrage of calls and messages regarding Natalie. She was apparently at her parents' house the night before to watch the World Cup finale. The match ended at around 6 p.m. and Natalie went back to her home shortly after, which wasn't too far away. She lived alone in Northern Ireland with her 2 cats and a dog. However, the next day, no one could get through to Natalie. She didn't show up to work and wasn't picking up her phone either. At the time, she was also 15 weeks pregnant with Stephen's child. So when she went silent, her friends and family grew worried, fearing she was facing some health concerns. After learning about her absence and waiting a few hours for a response, Stephen went to her home, which was about 20 minutes away from his home in Lisburn. Unfortunately, he was too late. When Stephen arrived at Natalie's home, the door was wide open. Inside, he found her lifeless on the floor. She had been killed.
Detectives from the Major Investigation Team have now launched a murder investigation following the death of Natalie McNally in Lurgan. This follows the results of the post-mortem. The 32-year-old died a violent death, having been stabbed a number of times, and there are signs of defensive injuries.
Post-mortem reports showed that she was killed on the night of December 18th, not long after she came back from her parents' home. However, investigators did not find any evidence of a forced entry into her home. This, combined with the fact that Stephen was the one who reported her death to the police, made him the lead suspect in her murder investigation. And he was arrested.
But he was alive, right? Oh no, he went to sleep.
However, this arrest didn't last long, because as the authorities quickly found out, Stephen had a strong alibi. According to the post-mortem report, Natalie was killed during the same time Stephen was live streaming from his home.
Okay.
Investigators looked through Natalie's phone and found the last text Stephen sent to her at 5:57 p.m., which read, "Right, I'm off to stream the night away. Wish me luck." To which Natalie replied, "I might have a peek at your live stream later." This was enough to clear Stephen's name from any wrongdoing. But it left investigators with no clear direction on where to look. Stephen did. We gotta
get proof that he actually was on stream when the time of her death, which nobody would actually know the real time of her death unless they get camera footage of somebody breaking into her crib.
However, investigating that person didn't lead to any breakthrough in the case either, and the name of this person was never made public for this reason. Luckily, detectives found CCTV footage a few days later showing a man dressed in dark clothes and white shoes heading towards Natalie's home at 8:52 p.m. and then the same person going back about 40 minutes later. Given his timing, investigators determined that this was the killer. Shockingly, he had the same height and build as Stephen. This put him on the radar once again, but it also raised a valid question. If Stephen was the perpetrator, how could he be in 2 places at the same time? Without any other...
Can you pre-record streams? Can't you do that? You can definitely do that. You can most definitely do that. Because I be watching the Draymond Green show. Shout out to Draymond Green. And that shit don't be live. That shit don't be live. The Paul George podcast P, that don't be live. They premiere it, but it don't be live. So I wonder. I really do. You definitely could have done that shit though, bro.
Their option, the authorities put a £20,000 reward for information regarding the killer and continued
20,000 is not enough, man. I would have been rolling in my grave. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. 20,000 to find me, nigga. Bitch for more! What?
That by the time they started this investigation, the killer could have easily fled to any of the neighboring countries. In the meantime, Natalie's case had become national news, resulting in multiple memorials around the country.
Yeah, bro, sorry,
this put even more pressure on the investigators to find the killer as quickly as possible. They made several arrests and even seized the suspect's car. Investigators also found the weapon the killer used on the 5th of January 2023, which was a knife from her own home. However, none of these developments brought them any closer to identifying the killer. That is until January 31st, when they arrested Stephen again, but this time with solid evidence. As it turns out, the only thing keeping him out of suspicion, the live stream, was completely fake. The whole
I
thing.
told you. I knew it. You can definitely pre-record live streams, bro. You just gotta do Premiere, and them bitches can go on. He definitely did this shit.
Recorded and broadcasted to simply look like a live stream.
Yeah.
After his arrest, investigators...
No wonder why bro wasn't talking. Bro not even engaging with his chat. What type of streamer gonna do that? What type of streamer not gonna engage with their chat? Sure, you playing the game and all, but you gonna engage with your chat. No way.
And found the original recording, which was made on the 14th of December, 4 days before the incident.
Wow.
They also found a taxi driver who described picking up someone matching Steven's profile near the murder at 9:30 p.m.
Did you know with the kid or something? Is that what it was? Because she was pregnant, bro. So is that what it was, bro? Like...
p.m. and then dropping this person near Steven's house. Most importantly, according to the taxi driver, this passenger had forgotten his wallet at home, so he quickly ran inside his house to get the money. And as expected, he ran into Steven's home.
Bro, shit
All
keep
this
popping up on
evidence
my
left
computer,
no doubt
y'all.
in the fact that Steven was the one who went to Natalie's home to commit a predetermined crime.
Wow.
In hindsight, there were plenty of suspicious moments during the fake live stream that should have raised more alarms. For starters, the stream was titled The Violent Night Christmas Live Gaming Stream. At the start of the stream, Steven also claimed that he was having technical issues with the streaming software, which he used as an excuse as to why he wouldn't be able to interact with the live chat.
Well,
oh my gosh, yeah. Me as a cop, man, just with probably being in tune with the world and the generation, I would have known just off of that. Sums up, gang. Sums up. Because like I said, why would you be on streaming? You're not gonna be in tune with your chat, bro. Don't try to say some technical difficulties, bro. Streamers who are on live who have technical difficulties interacting with the chat are gonna find a way to, bro. You're not gonna be on streaming. You can't interact with your chat, bro. You're not going to. Nigga, if I had to get on stream and I couldn't talk to my chat or anything, bro, I don't want to stream. I might as well just record and just upload them bitches, bro. Like, come on.
because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So, by all means, talk amongst yourselves.
This ensured that no one questioned why he wasn't talking with his viewers, which is essentially the whole point of doing a stream instead of posting a pre-recorded video. At the start of the stream, Steven made sure to repeatedly mention what day it was.
Hello to all on this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah, so I just thought, why
not
do a live stream? Because this day next week is Christmas. So what more could you want for Christmas other than an evening with your old pal Steven?
This was likely an effort to make his alibi stronger and to say, look, I was streaming the same night. I even mentioned the day at the beginning. On top of that, many moments in the stream also took on a far more disturbing meaning after the truth came out. Like him singing about killing someone in-game, which can also be interpreted as him critically talking about his girlfriend.
I need to kill it. I need to take her down.
Wow.
Post mission if I don't get this guitar. Tra-la-la.
At another point during the stream, he makes a pun that sounds like Natalie's name and finds it unusually amusing.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The most
This
creepy
thing's
moment
crazy.
was about halfway through the stream. While he was on break, suddenly the live stream back soon graphic switched with a poster of a James Bond movie called No Time to Die. Steven later claimed that this was an accident. He accidentally dropped his controller on the keypad, which made the strange graphic come up. But since we now know that the live stream was pre-recorded, Steven deliberately included this graphic at this point during the editing, likely alluding to the crime he was going to commit on that day. This theory becomes even more credible once you consider the fact that this movie poster came up at about 9:15 p.m., which perfectly aligns with the time he was at Natalie's house committing the brutal crime. That said, his clever schemes were derailed, and he was charged with murder.
He tried to really be smart with that shit, bro. He really tried to be smart.
Refused bail. And at the time of writing, he's awaiting trial on May 6, 2025. Hopefully Natalie and her family can get the justice they deserve.
Damn, man, that's sad, man.
On April 4th, 2020, Ernest Wilson went live on Facebook during a house party, without knowing that these were his final moments alive. Ernest was a 24-year-old warehouse worker living in Baltimore, Maryland. The only passion he had in life was for partying, playing board games, and turning them into drinking games. Unfortunately, the 2020 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown closed every public venue he frequented. So he decided to take matters in his own hands and came up with a solid plan. He would rent Airbnbs, host an invite-only party, which he referred to as a...
Motherfuckers during the pandemic just did not listen, specifically black folks, bro. Like, bro, what is you still throwing parties for during a pandemic, bro? What was you doing? My ass was at home, bro. I was eating good. I actually got very healthy. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like I turned into my prime. That's when I actually started to glow up, bro. No corny shit, bro. Like during pandemic, bro, like I stayed home and there was nothing to do, bro. I just stayed home, watched TV. I got my I still did my online classes. I got all them shits done. I got all my credits up, man, because your boy, I damn near was not about to graduate, bro. I gave no fucks about school. You know what I'm saying? I just stayed home. I wouldn't say I worked out, but like I did my little at-home workouts for real. And I glowed up, bro. That's all you had to do, bro. Nigga was still throwing parties? Huh?
A game night with a fee to cover the expenses and have a good time with his friends. These parties started off small,
well, that's all like bro like doing.
As more and more people became aware of them. And on April 3rd, he went onto Facebook to
I'm never throwing a party
that weekend, asking, "Should I do game nights again this weekend? And we playing hide and seek at game night tonight?"
And here's the reason why you don't do parties, especially if you're going to post them on social media. Like, you're technically inviting anybody to pull up, bro. Because all they got to do is find out somebody who's going to get the addy, bro. That's why I would never do a house. First of all, I don't go to house parties, bro. I've never been to a house party. I don't plan on going to a house party, bro. One of my homies' house parties actually got shot up, bro. This is pre-pandemic, too. I think this was like, what, sophomore or junior year? One of them, bro. You know what I'm saying? The house party got shot up, bro. And I'm friends with this dude, bro. So I know him. I know the people who he associates with. And the people that came and shot the party had a problem with somebody who was at the party, bro. Like, that's why them house party shits is dead, bro. Going to house parties is crazy. Especially in 2025 game where everybody got a gun, bro. I ain't going to no damn house party, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening, bro. Posting it is crazy,
he decided to go ahead with the plans and announced a 2-day game night with free entry for girls and a $5 fee for the guys. Not long after this announcement, he also made a post about bringing uninvited people, stating, "Please don't show up with nobody I didn't personally invite if we didn't discuss it first. They're going to get left outside." Maybe he had experienced problems with uninvited guests at past events. Or maybe he simply wanted to...
That makes folks want to still come even more.
But in hindsight, his concern makes a lot more sense. As the night approached, Ernest started the event, and it went just as well as he could have hoped, with everyone dancing and having a good time. That is, until 2:30 a.m., when the group decided to play the hide-and-seek game they discussed earlier. Ernest took charge as the first seeker and began a countdown at the Airbnb's backyard.
He on live during all this?
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is
6.
However, as soon as he began searching for his friends, he stumbled upon something completely unexpected.
1, 2, 3. Who the f is that, G? I don't know. Get your on the other side of this gate. Who the f?
Who's that?
He saw someone trying to jump the fence and break into the property. Now, the correct response would have been to go back inside to safety and call the cops on this intruder.
But he's so damn drunk, he don't even realize what he got going on. Like, somebody's legit jumping the fence in front of me, bro, and I'm black. I'm just drunk. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on live, bro. You know how fast I go back inside the crib and find the blick, bro? You know how fast? Do you know how fast I would have done that? No matter if I'm drunk or not. But he's... Alright, bro.
However, Ernest was already a bit under the influence at the time and made the biggest mistake of his life. He decided to confront the man on his own, and that's when things took a turn. The intruder was armed, and after some back and forth, tragically shot Ernest before fleeing the scene, all of which could be heard on the live stream.
Wow. I can't even see none, though.
The police arrived at the property at 2:45 a.m., where they found Ernest lying in a pool of his own blood. According to the few statements that were released to the public, this appeared to be a case of a robbery gone wrong. However, some believe there was more to the story. This is because during Ernest's struggle with the intruder, a girl can be heard laughing in the background.
Really?
As the story goes, this girl was an accomplice of the intruder who planned to either rob the place or eliminate Ernest for some reason.
Didn't what's his name just go out like that? Fulio, man. Now I know that's different because he was in a gang and all that stuff like that, and his peoples went and popped. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the story. You know what I mean? But my goodness, bro. Like, this is why I don't do this type shit, bro. I don't do this, bro. Like, and if I'm ever going out, I know this has nothing to do with this, but if I'm ever going on a date with a girl, bro, like, it's hard to even want to go on a date with a girl and shit like that, bro. It is, because you don't know who she's connected to. You don't know if she's going on a date with you just to set you up and get you robbed. Like, it's like, gang, can we just go back to living normal? Like, can we please? Why is it so hard, bro? Why is it so hard, bro? Like, this type of stuff made me so upset, gang.
With one person on YouTube writing, "That girl tried to let someone in the front door, or she knew who tried coming through the door. Once discovering it was locked, she told them to hop the fence as clear as day. I would start with her boyfriend.
For real.
Unfortunately, from what I can find, the police never caught the suspect, and Ernest's case remained open to this day. So whatever their motive was, I doubt we'll ever know, especially 5 years later.
And then they got away with it. That's sad.
On September 7th, 2024, a 32-year-old man by the name of Joseph Couch opened fire on vehicles traveling down I-75 near the city of London, Kentucky. He managed to hit 12 cars, injuring 5 people.
Wow.
Fortunately, there were no fatalities. As authorities rushed to his location, Joseph managed to escape into the wooded area alongside the highway. This left the investigators with no choice but to search the Daniel Boone National Forest, hoping to find the mass shooter. In the meantime, they also began looking into Joseph's past and made some chilling discoveries. He served in the Army Reserve from 2013 to 2019 before receiving an honorable discharge.
Man, it's always these Army motherfuckers, bro, that be doing this weird ish sometimes, bro. Especially with the mass killings, bro. It always be these Army folks, bro. Either the Army folks or the kids who got bullied in school, the ones who couldn't get a girl, who loved a girl too much that she rejected. It's always them motherfuckers, bro. It's always them, bro. Or the kids who kill pets at a young age. It's always them, bro. Like, I'm not wanting it to be anybody else, but it's always y'all, bro. It's always y'all, bro.
Due to him developing PTSD. More importantly, this wasn't his first entanglement with law enforcement. Back in 2015, he was arrested for throwing a rock at a dog and then pointing an AR-15 at its owner.
Like, what I say, bro? What I say? The weird motherfuckers, bro. The ones who want to kill animals and all type of ish, bro. All type of weird shit, bro. It's always them. It's surprisingly that it's the same person with both of these things, bro. Crazy.
Joseph had to pay $1,000 for bail, and the case was later dismissed a few months later.
Wow.
However, the same year, he was arrested again. This time for supplying a minor with alcohol and vandalizing private property with spray paint. This resulted in him having to spend 6 months in jail, alongside 200 hours of community service and a $1,500 fine. All of this highlighted just how mentally unstable he was. Something that became even more apparent when
started popping people on the freeway. Like, what are we doing?
The shooting. These read, "I'm going to kill a lot of people. Well, at least try. I'll kill myself afterwards." His past record and these texts also made it clear that Joseph wouldn't go down without a fight if they managed to find him. Unfortunately, the search for him wasn't progressing as smoothly as they'd hoped.
The search for the suspected highway gunman, Joseph Couch, intensifies as law enforcement has expanded its search efforts. State police say they are extending their search deeper into the Daniel Boone National Forest as the manhunt for Couch enters day 7.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is why I just stay out the way, bro. Like, I really used to go outside. I really used to, like, have fun. And it's, like, hard because, like, this summer I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Especially with my contact. I mean, I'm still going to try to be outside more, do some more IRL shit. But it's like, folks just be weird, bro. Folks be super weird, bro. Where it's like, nigga, you damn near scared. You know what I mean? You don't really want to, bro. Shout out to Starburst. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sponsored.
Local agencies were forced to close a section of I-75 and shut down schools, fearing Joseph might strike again. Eventually, they did manage to find his SUV, which also had numerous cases of ammo for the AR-15 style rifle he used for the shooting. However, this didn't provide any clues about his current whereabouts. In a desperate measure, the authorities put a $35,000 reward for finding Joseph to enlist the help of locals.
That's not enough.
And that's where the McCoy couple entered the picture. Fred McCoy and his wife Sheila operate a museum dedicated to the historic feud between the Hatfield and McCoy families in Kentucky. They also run a small YouTube channel dedicated to this museum called Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures, where they discuss the various aspects of that feud in greater detail. After hearing about the massive reward, the couple decided to give it a go. They had lived in the area their entire lives and knew the wilderness well.
$35,000. That's a sweet little piece of money. We're going looking for him. We're hoping he finds us, but we're going looking for this Couch guy, Joseph Couch.
They also decided to live stream their adventure through the Kentucky forest on YouTube, likely to have an instant record of whatever they find. They truly believed they could find him, and luck was on their side, because during one of their live streamed expeditions, Fred noticed a whole bunch of vultures hovering over the same area, possibly indicating a rotting corpse nearby. The two decided to head towards the vultures, and just 30 minutes later, the McCoys found what they were looking for.
You found him? Oh, my lantern.
He ain't running?
I'm coming. Oh, my lantern. You found him?
Where's he gone?
Oh, my lantern.
What the fuck
They immediately alerted the authorities, who used DNA testing to confirm the body was indeed Joseph Couch.
Oh, he might
The
have
later
offed
autopsy
himself.
report also confirmed that he went through with the plan he talked about in his message. After 13 days of searching, the I-75 shooter mystery finally came to a close, ending the manhunt and easing the fear of Joseph still being out there.
That's crazy. Bro won't take the sissy way out, bro. God gonna deal with you, bro. I guarantee, bro. You not up there, gang. You not, bro. You down there, motherfucker.
On October 28, 2019, a 47-year-old Japanese man named Tetsuo Shiohara live-streamed himself climbing Mount Fuji. And what was supposed to be nothing more than a fun stream quickly turned into an avoidable tragedy. You see, Tetsu had been climbing Mount Fuji since 2017 and had already reached the summit many times. However, all of those previous expeditions were during the climbing season, which
I'm sorry, I don't do stuff like this either. Like, I would never. I don't care how much money you pay me. I'm not doing
these
it.
months with maintained trails, milder weather, and resting huts along the way. That also
the thing is, folks like this be doing it for free. Hey man, do what you want, have fun how you want. Just know a lot of things come with the price, bro. A lot of stuff come with the price. And stuff like this, I would not put my own safety at risk for. I told you can't even pay me to do this, bro. You can't. Nigga, I'd be scared to go on roller coasters. You mean tell me I'm gonna climb something? It ain't happening, bro.
Essential supplies like food and oxygen cans. So when Tetsu decided to climb the mountain in late October, it was already covered in thick, slippery snow. And the conditions were far harsher than he could have imagined, with winds reaching up to 60 miles per hour. All of the resting spots on the mountain were also closed for the off-season. But despite this being his first off-season climb, the unfavorable conditions did not deter Tetsu. He was determined to reach the summit and make it back in a single day. Unfortunately, the stream didn't get off to a good start, as he forgot to bring essentials like thicker socks to keep his feet warm and crampons to prevent his shoes from slipping.
And you still climb it?!
Later, he also commented on how he didn't bring any food with him to avoid making his backpack too heavy. But as the climb continued, not having food became the least of his worries, as he quickly realized the snow that day was deeper than he could have imagined. On his way to the top, he passed several points where the trail had collapsed due to bad weather. About 2 hours into the hike, his viewers started to notice how dangerous things were getting as well, and began urging him to turn back before reaching the summit.
Bro, just like... Yo, viewers telling you that too? Oh my god.
However, he ignored all the warning signs and pressed on with the hike. And by sheer willpower, actually managed to get close to the summit. Sadly, this is where his luck ran out. While treading through a particularly steep section of the trail, Tetsu slipped and fell down the mountainside.
This been on camera? Oh my god!
His phone hit a rock and turned off, ending the live stream. His viewers immediately alerted the authorities. However, due to the harsh conditions, it took rescue workers 2 days to locate Tetsu's body. They found it severely dismembered, 2,300 feet below the point where he'd slipped.
Oh my god.
Now, for most people, this was an open and shut case of an inexperienced and underprepared person misjudging the dangers of Mount Fuji. But I came across some interesting theories regarding the situation. For example, one person stated, "I don't think he wanted to go exactly how/where he did on the mountain, but if you ever saw the live stream, you'd know that he definitely was planning on doing it, probably at the top. The chat was begging him to turn back, and he made constant, likely deliberate references to not being fully equipped. Additionally, he had a very ample and generous amount of time to turn around if it had purely been a mistake, with the last few people he met warning him to not go any further." In other words, Tetsu intended to end everything that day.
But I guess you die doing the things you like, right? You gon'... Hey, man.
Missing equipment was a deliberate decision, not an oversight. Although there's no evidence to prove this theory, and we'll never know for sure if this was actually his intention.
That's sad, man. That's sad, man. Shout out to Chilling Scares, bro. I would never do something like this, and I don't think any of y'all should do stuff like this. I'm sorry, man. I know y'all, it might be stuff that y'all like to do, bro, but it's like you never know when you could just be, it could be cooked for you, bro, and you done. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Chilling Scares, bro.